Problems, problems, problems. Just so many problems. When you wake up, you have a problem to face. When you're eating lunch, there's another problem. And when you're going to sleep, there's another problem at your door knocking. How do you talk about all these problems? In this lesson, that's exactly what you're learning with me. We are learning how to talk about dealing with problems, talking about situations and talking about your attitude towards the problems. So stay with me. My name is Michelle, as you already know, and I hope you have great fun in this lesson learning new idioms. So here we have the first one with us. Take it in stride. Do you know the meaning of the word stride? Stride means to walk, all right? Walk like this. How do you walk? Do you worry when you're walking or do you think about walking? Do you count your steps? 1, 2, 3? You don't, unless you're very bored, right? So when you're walking, you walk very carelessly and you're not upset and you're not worried. The same way, if you face a problem and you're not worried about it, you're not upset about it, then you take it all in your stride or you take it in stride. If you want to prefer British English, you could say take it all in your stride. Take it all in your stride if you want to speak the British way. So you could say that, my friend, okay, let me share an experience with you. So I have this friend Sarah who is an introvert, okay? And at work, she often faces a lot of problem with the colleagues, but she takes it all in the stride, which means that she does not worry about it and she's not upset about it. She's so easy with the problem as if she's walking. All right. To not worry about a problem. So this is take it in your stride. Make sure you also take all your problems in the stride as if you're walking, not worrying about them. The second idiom that we have with us is to weather the storm. So what do you think of when you read the word storm? Do you think of destruction? Cars crashing, trees falling, maybe a volcano? That's exactly what happens when you have problems in your life. You see a lot of destruction. But how do you face it? Do you face it with failure or do you bear the problem? If you bear the problem and you face it with courage, then you weather the storm. Because to weather something means to bear it. So when you bear a problem, you weather the storm. Often this idiom is used to talk about an experience where a person's reputation is being maligned. So let's say that the reputation of our country's president is being maligned by a lot of accusations. But he weathered the storm, which means that his image was protected by his deeds and the actions and the words that he said, and he could weather the storm successfully. All right, now we look at the third one that we have, to come to grips with. What do you mean by grip? Grip means to hold something firmly. Do you remember going to the gym and wearing those gloves and lifting up the dumbbells? Why do you think you wear those gloves? You wear them so that you can have a firm grip of the dumbbell and you don't drop it. The same way, if you want to hold on to your strength in a problem, then you need to come to grips with. So if there is a situation that you need to identify in your life and sort it out, then you need to come to grips with. Well, in my city, there's a serious problem of waste disposal, and I think the government needs to come to grips with it, which means they need to start dealing with it. Great. Now with this, we look at the fourth one that we have, to sail through something. Where have you heard this word, sail? You can't remember? Okay. Do you know the word sailor? Who is a sailor? The person who sails in the ship, all right, who is on the ship and the ship is moving in the waters. So when you're going through the difficult waters or the stormy waters, which means a difficult situation, and you go through it very easily, that's when you sail through a problem. I know that interviews are really hard, all right, and even exams. But we all have this one friend who always sails through the interview, which means that the interviews which are very difficult for us are really easy for them. So therefore, they sail through the interviews, or they go through the problems very easily. All right. So when you go through a problem easily and you sail through it, that's when you're very, very strong. All right. So with this, we have looked at situations which are very difficult and how we overcome them. But the next one that we have, here we are talking about your attitude or my attitude towards a problem. What happens when I face a problem? Do I start crying? Do I start feeling bad? Do I start cribbing about it, complaining about it to my friends? Or do I grit my teeth and go through it? Do you know the meaning of gritting your teeth? Let me show you. That's when you join your upper jaw and the lower jaw and you bring them together with all the strength and determination. So if you're determined to overcome a problem, you'll grit your teeth through it. So gritting your teeth means determinations. To show determination. So when you have a lot of meetings lined up in the coming week and you're quite worried about it, but you really don't have much choice, what do you do then? Do you grit your teeth to go through it? That's exactly what you should do. Grit your teeth and go through it like this. Okay. The next one that we have is to grin and bear it. Right. So as I told you, we can have different reactions to a problem. Either we can be sad, upset, or depressed. But sometimes you can smile, all right, and still bear a problem. Because in some situations, you really don't have much choice. Let's say you're married to a person who causes you some trouble sometimes. But you don't have much option because obviously you can't change that person that easily. So you grin and bear it. Go through a problem happily. So choose to grin and bear through the problem or grit your teeth through a problem. These are really good ways and good approaches to deal with your problems. Let's look at the next idiom that we have. To take the rough and the smooth. So like I told you, if you have a difficult partner in your marriage and you don't have much option, then you must remember that you should take the rough with the smooth, because not everything comes all good, because there's always something a little bad to everything, right? So you have to accept the positive and also accept the negative and go through it with a grin on your face, which means a smile on your face. So go through the rough with the smooth. Rough here means the negative and smooth means the positive. Smooth is something that you can easily go through, but rough is something which is very hard to go through. So accept the positive and the negative. I feel that no long-term relationship comes all smooth, right? There's always some rough and some smooth, so take the rough with the smooth. Now we look at the last idiom that we have. This is a bit sad because I believe that, the worst thing or the hardest thing that we can experience in our lives is the death of somebody, right? But as what we have learned, we have to come to terms with such an experience as well. In that case, if someone has passed away, we need to come to terms with it, which means that we need to accept it. Even if it's hard, we have to accept it. You may not be able to grin and bear it because it's not that easy, but you have to come to terms with. Slowly, you need to accept what has happened. Alright guys, thank you so much for staying with me, and today you have learned different ways to talk about dealing with problems, and I hope it gets easier for you to talk about it. Thank you so much for staying with me. Bye-bye.